Hello, welcome back to the stream. If you just joined us, welcome to the second session of the Sunday streams. We are going to carry on with some Stormworks today. Just to repeat, Sunday Night Trekking. Hopefully we'll come back next week. And once I got the rig finished, which I'll hopefully do this week. AV's 10 out of 10. I've just been doing some work while I've been eating my food. I'm just putting this motor on here. I've changed the azimuth thrusters so they're not taking power from the engine anymore. They've got their own little electric engine now. I'm just going to hook up the power to that. Where's that going to go? Pump. Electric engine. Power's going to that, which is the master breaker. And... God, this is so hard to find. There it is. That goes there, and then... the data connection that controls it is going to be controlled by its own throttle, which is up here somewhere. If you can find it, there it is. Bow thruster left. Electric motor in there, so that's in there.
Welcome back, Nutter.
So I've, while you've been away, I've done a little bit of work. A couple of things. One, I've moved this control deck forward a little bit, as you can see, because it was back here. So I've shunted it forward so it's in this little open space here. Second thing is I've removed the two props off the back and I've added this single prop. So I've got a giant propeller on the back now. You accidentally started watching the stream earlier. Lol, is it live? So that's coming into this pipe. The pipe is then coming into these brand new gearboxes. Which are on the same setting as before, -1 for reverse, and then 3 to 2 and 3 to 2. That is then coming into this clutch, and the clutch then goes into the engine. The engine also has a clutch between it and the new electric generator. So that should be, by default, that clutch should be not doing anything. So that shouldn't be turning, so that's not taking any power away from the engine. We're going to have to hook up some logic for that later. Single prop. Oof.
Happy anniversary, Nutter.
The boat literally looks like a bathtub. I feel sorry for your bathroom if your bathtub looks like this. Melting lava. Thank you for 26 months. My mum is on I'm on Squirrel TV. Lol. Thank you, dude. Fuzzball, thanks 21. So yeah, the trouble is I just did a very quick test and the engine starts, but no power is coming out, so yeah, I'm not really sure. I've obviously forgot something. But let's have a chat to Jack and Sommy. Jack and Sommy. And Whiteland if he's here.
Hello.
Can you see, looking at the stream, can you see if I've blatantly missed something out that would cause the propeller not to turn?
Yeah, it's not pink.
Thanks,
Lol,
Jack.
Jack. Can you just go to the rear of the boat between the back of the engine and the prop, but from the inside of the hull?
All Jim. What do you want to see?
So it's that corner block. Yeah, that corner block's right. So why?
Yeah, you can see the arrows are going the right way.
Is the prop actually on the right block?
Happy anniversary.
As best as I can tell. I mean, let me put it there. So, I mean, physically, it looks like it's connected correctly through the gearbox and clutch.
So how's your logic with the clutch then?
So the gears, I'll just the gears because they're easier. The gears are driven off the seat, if I can hold this properly.
Okay.
1, 2, gearbox. And that goes to hotkey 1, hotkey 2, and hotkey 3. So they're correct. And then
Right, and your clutch is up and down again?
the clutch pressure is driven by the captain seat axis 4 up and down.
Which is, okay, fair enough.
Which
So
shouldn't
you
have changed.
So you should now be able to hop in
Sticky.
it and fire the engine up and then turn the clutch on.
Have you set up the clutch for the electric generator?
No.
Right.
No, I've not touched the electric generator, so in theory that should not be engaged.
Yeah, it won't do anything.
So you won't be generating any electricity back into your boat at the moment.
Correct, apart from the solar panels.
Okay. Are you going to spawn in?
I can spawn in if there's nobody there.
We're not there yet.
We're 800 meters away, so it was you go first, and we'll wait.
Power connections. I know what it is. I don't have any power connected to the gearbox and clutch. I forgot they needed power.
Done.
Yeah, you didn't suggest it though, did you?
Well, that
By
would
the
be
way,
thing.
you need some power in your gearbox and clutch.
Cookie, have a cookie. Hey, that rhymes. I like that.
Had you
Cookie,
giving us a
have a
chance, we would
cookie.
have suggested power.
Power. That goes there. So this is going to go, when it does output power, I want this to go to the main battery relay, which is the... Yeah, boy. Right, now we can test. Does anything else need power? It's kind of hard to tell what needs power.
Oh, disconnect all power connections button would be so wonderful.
Yeah, a way of layering this would be nice.
Yeah.
Right, spawning now.
Yeah, you're clear.
Clear prop. Oh, it's night time. Seriously, game. Can we? Are you near a bed at all?
Yeah, we're just literally sort of 100 meters off your port side.
All right. Can you just jump in a bed and make it morning?
Well, let me just stop the boat rather than sleeping and then crashing into you. Oh, Jack took the port bed. Hang on.
So you did your armor connections?
Sleeping.
No chance.
There you go.
That's not enough.
Oh, hang on. What? Oh, we're miss sync time again.
Yeah.
Everybody sleep then.
I am.
I'll do it. Okay, let's we need to splash some fuel in this thing. I think I've still got a scuba gear off your boat, so I need to put it back on because you can't actually remove it.
Yeah, we've got a spare slot for you.
It's a bit annoying. If you've got nowhere to put the gear back, you can't actually take it off.
But I thought they used to have empty shells. Do they still have them?
What, for gear? Yeah, there's empty ones you can put on.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the hose is honestly as glitchy as the early mice in my car.
Anniversary. Natter.
Well, that props nicely in the water, so I'm happy about that. I really wish you could, like, speed up the fuel hose thing on this thing.
I'm sure you could edit it in the environment mod, right?
Well, if you had a mod, yeah.
I just realised I'm still
Yeah,
in the
let's see what
bed.
we got.
Ram him!
Oh, we're not feeling...
Full speed! Oh, scraped up the paintwork. You're stealing the boat.
He saw nothing.
Did you just ram the boat?
No.
We're over here, we're not even near you.
Yeah,
Why-
we're sailing away. Like, how can we have possibly hit your boat?
Look at him taking all the fuel when we just brought more back.
I'm literally
know,
just
right?
taking a few hundred in case I have to despawn this.
Tap.
Welcome back.
Come on. Let me in my boat. Can I get rid of this scuba gear? Because it's actually really annoying.
Yeah.
Yes, if you find an empty one.
You've got an empty one on your boat, haven't you?
Yeah. Port side rear.
Natter.
Oh yeah, so we do.
I love how he called it our boat, even though it's his boat.
My boat. There we go. That's better.
Can you see now rather than through a letterbox?
Yep. It's suddenly... It's like taking sunglasses off.
Was it a bit like the helmet on My Summer Car?
Right, we've got 475 fuel. Whiteland's meters are doing crazy things. His fuel burn is showing plus 0. Minus something. I don't know what it's doing. There's obviously liquid moving around the pipes or something.
Plus 0. minus something.
Yeah, and then his time estimates are way out. Minus 800 seconds, that's how long we've got left.
Wow.
It looks like it's not taking an average, it's measuring every individual tick, so it's changing every millisecond, rather than taking an average over, say, a couple of seconds.
Yeah, I think so. That's why I said calculate every 4 ticks instead of every tick. Because you're getting a 1 second average. And you really want like a 4 second average or something. Just don't read a value until 5 or 6 ticks.
Yeah.
Right, the engine's running 6 RPS. And Whiteland's fuel flow is minus 0.1.
Wow, you're creating fuel.
I'm actually making fuel.
No, isn't that right? It's taking fuel.
Oh, is
No,
it minus
It's
draw?
minus.
It's way broken.
Would you like to try one of my logic-based ones?
Yeah, it's removing fuel from the tank, which is a minus setting, isn't it?
Why is my engine RPS going down? Oh, this is weird. Unless it's just more sensitive now.
It does that sometimes when it's idling.
Alright,
We are anchored, Jack, so please don't take off at a great rate of knots.
I'm not on the steering or control.
No, I'm just making everybody aware
Back.
that we are anchored.
Just to make sure there is no mess up.
See if
I'm
the
gonna
bow
stand
thruster
over here on a
works.
rock.
Lol.
Don't trust myself to go anywhere
Oh, the
near
white
that
bow thruster works.
workbench.
Can you now thrust the other way, sir?
I'm going to check on the left thrust.
No.
No, you
You're
see, it
still
does the same
backwards.
thing. It's so dumb.
What is
Yeah.
going on?
It's so dumb. And I've put the electric motor back again without, you know, whatever.
Did you... And you placed the actual thrusters themselves out of symmetry mode, right?
Hang on, we're moving.
The only other thing I can think of is that it's set wrong on the symmetry mode.
I think they actually need to be placed in symmetry mode.
Well, whichever way he's placed it needs to be placed the other way. But it's taking off quite well.
Right, that's full first gear. We have an engine RPS of 9, and we're doing 20 knots.
Nice.
Okay, how much fuel did you take?
That's,
Just a few hundred.
The way you moved off was really smooth.
Right,
Yeah,
I'm going to put the second gear in.
He feathers the clutch a bit more than me. I just kind of gun it.
Yeah, me too.
Engine RPS.
So is that 2 lots of 3-2 then?
Yeah, I've just kept the same ratios just so I could see what was going on.
And what speed are you getting in your next gear?
Rubbish speeds.
Right, so that'll be your economy gear.
Like, I'm doing 10 knots or whatever and getting 6 RPS.
That'd be good for coming up to like a port or something. Slow yourself right down. Should we park up and start fueling?
Well, I assumed that Paul would want to despawn his craft before we start buggering about. That's how much faith I have in Paul that he's got his craft completely right the first time round.
I think I need a higher ratio.
His concentration faces on. He'll come back with a comment in a minute.
No, it's a cargo pad. It's not designed for helis to land on. Yeah, my thruster's working incorrectly
What I
though.
don't understand is how the fuel burn is useful.
Where it tells you how much fuel you're burning, so you know you can work out an average. And actually, if you then feed that,
But it's based on time, it's not based on distance, is it? It's not a burn per mile, it's based on a burn per second. but you'd have to perhaps feed it with a GPS input or something.
So we're doing
and average it
50, like
against
14 knots at 11 if I put more clutch in. If I let the RPS come up, so I release the clutch, the engine turns quicker, but we don't really gain any speed.
I think we've unlocked that.
Yeah, we're still on a single engine, and we're on a single prop, that's the difference. Should have been on 2 props, we're on a single prop. Experimented to see if it was better than 2 props.
So, are you now on a single prop and you're clutching your generator so that it won't...
Yeah, there's no bleed
take
off
power.
the engine at all, it's direct to the prop now. All of it's going to the prop. So I'm going to tweak the gear ratio, I think, see what happens.
Are we okay to fuel unload, or would you like us to wait?
I don't know. What are you doing? Refueling?
We're putting more fuel back into the tank, but we could probably actually do it from where we're sitting.
If I come into the key and put it in the workshop, is that going to break things?
Hopefully not. And Jack, can you let the hose out? And Paul can perhaps hook that up for us before he goes in.
Prop should be below the hull now, only half of your prop is under the hull.
Now, where the hose is another story.
It's in the sea, I can see
It's
it,
actually
but
lower down than the
Paul,
previous
yeah,
one was.
Oh, that's right, as long as it's not in the jetty.
No.
Like, the prop is fully submerged
I'll
though,
read it
isn't
as
it?
it goes.
Oh, you're saying it should be below... I see what you're saying, I think. Okay, well I can move it. Right, I'm going to return to the workshop, okay?
No, hopefully okay, yeah. And then could you just quickly jump out and attach the hose for us?
And try.
Is the hose fully out, Jack?
No, I'm going to reel it out as he goes. I didn't
I don't
want
think
it
it's
to
going to
be-
go that far, I don't know.
Yeah, it should.
Should do.
It's a 100-meter hose in theory.
Yeah, no, yeah, I see what you're saying. You basically, like, half the water's not hitting the prop, is it? So it can't turn it. It's turning water, but it has to, like, draw it up to do it. I've chosen a case. What? Ninjo! Thank you very much for gifting 10 subs, Mr. Ninjo.
Welcome
If you were lucky enough to get one, please give him a thank you, guys. Thank you so much, Ninjo. That's very kind.
That needs speeding up.
Does not meet the lower game, does not calculate the water flow around the prop. It does not need to be lower. The game does not calculate the water flow around the prop.
Welcome back.
Hmm.
Nata.
So if I move it lower, it's not going to make any difference.
Welcome back.
I'm kind of, like, my guess of the way the game works is because it works on blocks, it's going to say, is the propeller surrounded by water? Yes, 100% efficiency. It's not going to go, oh, let's move blocks of water across the propeller blades. I don't think it's going to do that.
Welcome back. Nata.
I think we're at maximum reach here, maybe.
Still reeling out.
Is it?
Yeah. Seems to be reeling out really slowly for some reason.
Welcome back.
That's because it is really slow.
It's usually a bit quicker than that, though.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are now connected to the storage tank. Is that where you wanted it?
Yep.
There you go. Look, it's lengthening still. I'll drop it off there.
Back. Nata.
Yeah, the hose mechanics in the game are as good as Mice and McCall. Actually, I'd say
How
the
much
worse than
fuel's
Mice
in
and
there,
McCall.
Jack?
6.5.
6.5. Okay, so it should be full,
Okay,
and then
so-
we should have like 7,000.
Are we
like
thinking
6,000
then that
left in
it
our-
really
in our
doesn't
tanks
matter
as
if
well.
I move this prop
Okay.
down? Maybe the issue is going to be like around the gear ratios.
Welcome back.
So currently 2 turns of the prop equals 3 turns of the... Sorry, 2 turns of the engine is giving 3 turns of the prop.
Going for a quick boil.
That's not moving us forward quickly enough. That's giving us about... In fact, we're maxing the RPS out and getting nowhere.
Welcome to the nut house.
I might change the ratio of this one. If we put that in there, then whatever that's set to, which is 2 to 3, that will effectively double it, won't it? So instead of 2/3, you'll end up with 2/6, which is a third, if you do that, I think. Let's try that, maybe. Why change ratio 1?
Nutter.
Any tips you can offer besides getting a refund on your soul, Kagoras? What? What have I missed? Thank you, Ryan. And thank you for the 24-month resub, dude. Happy golden acorn for you. I think that will turn the prop quicker when we put it into second gear. I think if that needs to be... Let's try 2 to 1 and 2 to 1 again, so we can go... That's 2 turns of the prop for 1 turn of the engine, and that's 4. If we engage that as well, it'll double it. So it'll be 4 turns of the prop for 1 turn of the engine. We could try that, but then I'd have to spawn it and nick some fuel, which I can't because they've got the hose right now. So let's do other things. See if I can figure out why this bow thruster goes the wrong way. So the boat's set for 0 to 1. I can only imagine. I'm just going to put the thruster down again in case something...
Is the pump in the bottom of the tank?
Yeah.
Right, maybe try putting the pump at the top of the tank.
Wow, it's amazing, Jack. It's almost like I suggested that yesterday.
You probably did, but I probably wasn't listening.
When people were talking about how the game calculates gravity and saying, well, it's the difference between the pump and the top of the hose. And if you put the pumps on deck, it works better.
Yeah.
Even though it makes no sense because the fluid intake is still lower down, it works from the pump or something.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Is it me, or is this emptying really slowly?
1100. Just the same as it was at Spike X.
Right, I'm
Okay.
going to remove
From
that azimuth
10,000
thruster.
already.
I'm going to put it back again.
Just
Not in symmetry
let
mode.
the cable out, Jack. Curiosity.
Just letting the cable
So
out.
if
Can I
I'm
change
understanding
something?
this correctly,
I don't know.
There'll be more
How's it
cable
gone
for
out
the
of
fuel
there?
to run through.
No, it won't. It'll still be the same amount of cable. If it's technically in a drum.
Yeah, it doesn't register it that way though.
Lol.
If anything, that seems to be slowing it down. It's now dropped down to between 9 and 10.
why does it do that then? Okay, whatever.
Now it's mostly at 9. I'm going to reel that back in a bit and see what if it changes.
If I'm understanding this correctly, that's the direction of thrust, right? So that's going to thrust in that direction. If I understand how these things work. I'm basing that on the fact that propeller
Right, that's it fairly
has
taut.
the arrow of thrust, I guess.
About the same.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
So it seems to make no difference.
Nutter.
And just mess up in symmetry mode. It does feel that way. So the electric is still connected. So the only thing we have to do is the... Actually, we don't need to do anything. Because all that happens is that's being driven to do that. Is there anywhere in the UK you can try it a bunch of sim wheels and pedals before buying? I don't know of anywhere, Jimbo. The reason places like that don't exist anymore is because what people do is they would go to such a place, sit down, try all the different pedals and wheels and stuff out and go, thanks for that. Thanks for spending an hour with me and giving me your sage advice. I'll think about it. And then they'll go away, go onto Amazon and buy it from the cheap online store. And that's exactly why they don't exist. Bit too fast. Thank you for 66 months, sir. Enjoying this game, watching this game. Nice. Did I miss anybody out? Nondescreen 23 months. Ninja was 63. Hope to see the new rig soon. Thank you. Mad Gamer 25. Haven't been on here for a while. Looking forward to a nice stream as always. Thank you. Greetings from Germany. Doing well. Thank you, Melting Lava. I don't think I've missed anyone. Very niche market. That's another reason. It's sad but true. That's what people do all the time. You know? So, what do we think? Is that prop okay where it is, or must it be lower in the water? How does the game work?
Whiteland.
What did Whiteland do?
Well, I'm assuming he touched the rear cable. Suddenly the boat just listed to her side.
Okay where it is.
Oh, okay. I thought you were playing a boat with a winch. I didn't see that you'd gone overboard.
I'd love to move these rudders up. I really hate where these are, to be honest. Force 20,000. 40,000. So the little propeller provides half the pushing force of an azimuth, but it's really compact. You can just like bury it into the hull a lot better, which is, I find, more appealing. Sure, I don't know how much drag that generates, but it's probably quite a bit. If the bow thrusters made into the side of the hull as jets. I often wondered whether you could just use
Cup of tea?
what's it called? The fluid nozzle thing. Do we have, Jack, do we have stuff unlocked to provide, like, to thrust with water jets?
No, we don't. The
Explain it.
water thrusters are locked still.
The fluid jet is not unlocked yet.
Okay.
And the fluid jet also does the fluid slot port, the big one.
Right. PS4 Gamer, thank you for the 2,000
20
bits. It's
research
very
points in the
kind of you,
Academy.
sir. The ship looks awesome. Thank you, mate. We're basically going to keep building it until it looks incredible and then release on the workshop. Yeah. And the good thing is you can go back and look at the stream and work out how it was built. But thank you for the bits. Does the azimuth need a negative value to spin in reverse? I don't believe so. Does the azimuth spin in reverse if you give it a negative value?
Yeah. Well, it depends what mode you've put on it.
Would you not just be better to put the azimuth at the very bottom of the keel and put it on a pivot from left to right? And have a thrust and a pivot lever?
Now we've got pivots, I could do that.
Because that's how they're meant to be used, isn't it? Because you're meant to be able to give it forward thrust as well, so they help you as you're going along, and then use them as turns for when you need it to turn.
Oh,
I'd
hello.
just put it underneath the white bit personally, but it's up to you.
It's more drag and more likely to hit the bottom of the ground, isn't it, if you put it right down there?
Maybe.
I'm not sure exactly what it is that's going on, but it is very strange. Because your arrows are all facing the right way. You've put your motors on right.
Don't quote me, but I thought you couldn't reverse thrust in azimuth.
You can off an electric engine. It's the electric engine that can go in reverse.
Yeah. It's the power source, it's not the prop. The prop can go either way.
Azimuth.
Don't forget the pivot.
We don't need it if we've got an electric engine.
How are you going to turn the azimuth?
I'm not.
Oh, I see what you're going to do. Okay, fair
I'm
enough.
going to reverse the spin.
Okay.
I really want to put it there in that stupid sensors, though. Actually, I don't think it'll mind if you put a block in front of it, will it? Oh, yeah, it will. Oh, man. You have to come in there.
$16,000.
You'll have to come down like
flow
that.
rate of 600.
Yeah, it's just slowing down. I don't understand why, though.
Have you pulsed it again? No, it just went back to 600. Yeah, that's weird.
I don't like the asymmetry of this at all.
I'm going to start the engines. I don't think it's that, but
You can see the battery if the battery's low.
that's not the battery's at 3.92. I don't class that as
Basic
low.
pivot that can freely move. The pivot can rotate 1/4 turn in both directions. So it can turn 90 degrees one way, 90 degrees the other. Let's just do that. Let's just put it on a pivot. But has the pivot got... No. The pivot doesn't carry power through it. Robotic pivot power. That's massive.
Right, the engine's now running, Jack.
Okay.
A robotic pivot that will orient itself
Still 600.
towards the
Just
input
like
value within
pumps,
its range of motion. The
Okay, for a
pivot
second.
has a range of motion of 1/4 turn in either direction. The standard input value sets the target orientation within the pivot's range. The measured rotation of the pivot can be read from its output. The pivot's speed can be configured by selecting it with a tool. Good. So we could use one of them. Stick one of them here somewhere. I only need one bars, we don't need two. And then we have one of those. It doesn't really matter which way you face it, does it? The thing is, it sticks right out, doesn't it? You want the arrow pointing from stern to bow? I don't think it makes any difference. Because you're going to turn it anyway, but, yeah. I honestly don't like it. It sticks out horribly.
back.
Welcome back.
It's still at 6. Actually, it's getting lower now. It's jumping into 5. 18,000.
Happy anniversary, Natter.
Here's me hoping I'm not deleting anything important. Right, pivot.
That's 19,000.
7 to go.
I think it's going to be one of those exponential curve things, you know? I don't think it's ever going to get full.
Robotic pivot power, that's the one I want. So I want it that way
The only
around.
thing is now is like the proximity to the boat. That's the furthest we've had it away when we've tried to fill it.
Move the boat closer then.
Well, we don't want to interfere with Paul's spawning.
He's not spawning yet. Bye.
Yeah, I'm just trying to sync time a bit.
It's, I don't know, because like, we've had like 18, 19,000 in a tank and then brought
We
a load
can't put
over
anything
and
there,
started
can we? Oh, we
putting
can
it
actually.
back in before.
Well, you can build blocks around that.
And it's all gone in at like proper speed.
Yeah, I know.
So maybe it's the thing of we have to completely disconnect, then reconnect and start
Interesting.
from again. I don't know. Or I wonder if the tank has a built-in battery that's getting weaker and weaker as it's pulling fuel in.
There
And
is.
it needs to stop for a bit to like recharge. I don't know if these have got some kind of inbuilt recharges.
Well, there
Wrong
are
way,
solar
you need
panels on
what?
the top, aren't there?
Wrong
battery's
one, you
there,
need
isn't it?
power.
Oh, that's a seat.
I gave it power, didn't I?
Yeah, no, there's no solar panels on it, but it might be that the battery's built into
I
it.
literally-
Oh, there's solar panels.
There is solar panels, and there's a battery as well. It's
Yeah.
underneath the seat.
I chose
So
that
I
one.
think it's draining the battery. That must be it.
Can the bow thruster be housed in the hole with the pivots going through from the outside? If
It's
they're on real world
right on
boats.
the line between day and night, heading into.
Okay.
You need
and
water
that's
to flow
only a
over
small
it
battery,
to
so it's
actually
obviously
move
dying
water,
too
right?
quickly.
No, you want to put power through it, don't you? Strange things are happening again.
Are we watching Toy Story?
No, it's like I then went
Okay,
over to
if
Paul's
I've done
boat,
that
there's a
correct,
cargo hatch,
the
and
electric
Paul's
motor
boat
is going to
was
power the
moving.
actual thrust. And then something else is going to turn the pivot. If the azimuth is used away, it can be used as another prop. So it turns 1/4 in either direction. So by default, if you start running it, it will provide forward thrust. So when the moment you turn it on, it provides thrust in that direction, which is the opposite to that. So it's a braking force by default, which is why I think it should be the other way around. I think it should be like
I would go with the other way around.
that. So that by default, it's providing forward momentum. And then when you move the lever, it will basically turn.
It's not going to turn.
What?
The way you've placed 2 of those blocks, they're attached to the bit that turns, so they won't be able to turn.
You what, mate?
You can't block it in, it requires room to turn.
It lets me block it in, though.
Yeah, of course it does. You just need to make sure you can block it in. It's just that when you block it in with blocks that are attached to the hull and not attached to the bit that turns. You know how you had to do that thing with before, when you were merging things back together and you had to rebuild your cargo door and make sure the right bit was attached to the right bit.
If I block that in so that it's merged with the pivoting thing, how can it turn in its housing? It's a rectangle. Are you saying I'm... Okay, I don't know.
No, so you created a line of pink blocks, which meant that they couldn't turn within the red blocks. What you need to do is make sure that the only one that's pink is the one in the middle that's attached to the azimuth. Everything around that pink should be...
Right, so if we get rid of that. This is awkward camera work.
You might have to delete a couple of blocks in front of it to get underneath it. Oh, I think you missed one.
This isn't fiddly at all.
It's borderline concentration face now, isn't it? Like,
There you go.
He's getting frustrated.
Red hole, pink bit.
Yep, that's it. Perfect.
Does it turn through the whole of the
Random
rectangle?
wedges either side.
It does if you have the right bits. Yeah. It's a bit fiddly. It's kind of like you have to know, like, until Jack said it, I didn't appreciate the merging side of this. Because it is a moving part. If you have a moving part, they have to be separate from each other in the same way that the cargo bay door has to be a separate object from the hull. And the platform inside has to be a separate object from the hull. Otherwise it can't move. If it's attached to the hull, it can't move. Anyway, we've got it. So let's hook up some power and stuff. So the electric motor needs to be driven from the main breaker, which is there, as does the actual robotic pivot. Now we think about what controls we want in here. So instead of having 2 like thrustery things, we don't want to do that anymore. So what do you want? I guess you want a thrust lever for how much power you want to put in, and then you want to be able to like rotate it, and you want to see what the position of the rotation point is, right? So it's going to go from -1 to 1. So a needle that went from -1 to 1 would be brilliant for that. So maybe if you put some kind of like... So for forward and backwards, you want positive forwards. Like that. And then you want to go left and right. And then you want to have a display. A dial. Like that. So if you say the dial can go between -1 and 1, azimuth direction, something like that. An upside down dial will show the rotation. I don't think it needs to be upside down, does it? Oh god, I have symmetry on. Good spot.
So if my time's synced with Paul's, Jack, it's just about to be sunlight.
Okay, mine's just coming up towards. It's sort of halfway between the start of night and mid.
Something like that. And then you say,
We're at 23.7, by the way.
bow, thruster, direction, minimum value -1, maximum value
It's got
1,
the
start value 0,
3000-ish, isn't it?
sensitivity. Don't know what that needs to be. For the actual thrust, we can go 0 to 1. Even though the electric engine can go in reverse, we're going to go from 0. Start value 0. Bow thrust. Bow thrust direction. Bow thrust direction. Something like that, I think. Isn't the throttle showing -1 to 1 by itself? Well, this thing. Yeah, I'm not really showing it. One of the min values is +1. No, it's not. -1 to 1. -1 to 1. 0 to 1. Right, instrument breaker. Instrument relay, sorry. And then control. So this is the thrust value, so this is going to go to the electric engine. This is the direction, so this goes to the rotation target. And then that, the pivot's rotation measured, hang on, between -0.25 and 0.25. So if we actually want to display where it is, we need to hook that up instead. And that can instead go
I
between
think it's still 1 and 1. Paul. You
0.25,
don't need to worry about the quarter turns.
0.25.
Still just 1 and -1.
Are you kidding me?
No, it's still -1 and 1. The same as your door hinge thing. It's like
Yeah.
telling
Okay.
you the minimum increment that it can measure, so it can measure a quarter of a turn. So it will operate in quarter of turns, I think is what it's saying. But it's
basically.
the English is bad.
I guess I should put some kind of clutch for now on the electric. Oh, I won't worry about the batteries.
No, you won't need to, will you?
That instrument relay for the electric, have you got a button connected to that?
No, it's a relay. So you put the relay down and set its default state to on, and it basically acts like a
You set
junction
it
box.
on, right, okay.
Yeah, if you do that, it just becomes a junction box, which means you can then partition your electrics up, which I just find much easier to deal with.
Yeah,
Rather than
that's
everything go into a master breaker, you just send it to a cluster. I should have done it from the beginning, I didn't. I should have done it right from the beginning, but I like having the instrument panel go into its own relay, and then you have one connection going back.
Yeah, a lot of people use the relays and then they button the relays so that you can turn certain sections on and off.
Yeah, you can do that. The relay actually takes an input signal, so you could just turn it on and off, no problem.
Yeah, I tend to just use an electric switch.
Yeah, the
Just-
breaker.
Bank, yeah, the breaker and bank everything together. So like lights, doors, specific systems.
Yeah, and thank you for 49 months. The pivot does actually output.
Paul, if you want to test it.
Apparently you're wrong, Tommy. Apparently the pivot does actually output 0.25.
Well, let's have a bet on it then.
I mean, whenever I set up a pivot on a number block, I always just do -1 to +1, and it works.
Well, you just tested it, so I don't know.
Well, spawn it in and see what happens.
Yeah.
Am I okay
Spawn
to
it and have a
spawn?
look. Yeah, you're clear.
Yeah, you're clear.
I've never seen a bus box, Baz.
Oh, okay, so Paul's time is just before moon.
Yeah, that's where mine is.
Where's the fuel hose? I need some fuel.
You won't need it, will you? Because the electric is all separate.
I guess I can not use any power for now. I was going to test the engine gears and stuff, but I'll do that in the day. Right, so what's it reading?
If we turn bow thrust direction one way, we get 2.5. Hang on, where did you take the line from?
Oh look, it outputs minus 0.25 to 0.25. I guess somebody lost a bet.
But where is the bow thruster in relation to the handle?
Because the handle's full, the thruster says 2.25.
Okay, I'm just going to go underwater and have a look. Okay, right. I can see it. Do you want to turn it?
Yeah. Is that turned to the right or the left?
It's fully port at the moment.
The handle's fully starboard.
Yay.
So if I move the
Which is right. That is right for a thruster.
Yeah, if I move the handle fully port now.
Yep. Starboard.
Okay.
That doesn't look full. Oh, maybe it's just the angle.
Probably just the angle.
It doesn't look fully locked into me.
Yeah, so that's correct anyway.
Yeah, so the dial needs to be changed again.
So the dial is just based on 0.25 for some weird reason, even though the robotic hinge is based on 0.25, but it's actually 1.
Wait, but the thing with when you take the reading from the robotic pivot itself, you get minus 0.25 to plus 0.25.
Oh, it's
but
moving.
I usually take the reading from the thruster lever itself.
Yeah, rather than the actual pivot.
Yeah, because then I know what the lever is doing.
Lever?
Lever.
What the leather is doing. I didn't know there was leather in this game.
Yeah.
Apparently, you can make your own leather.
So
It's actually working.
If you go with the lever, you want to do +1, -1. If you go with the pivots signal, then it's 2.5. And that's full, by the way. So
Batteries down to 391.
Yeah, I know. I've disconnected the hose.
okay.
Can I despawn this, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to.
There's an arrow on the block of the arrow is filled. It's a positive number if follow negative. It seems to be working fine. The only thing that's wrong is this.
Where's that thing?
Needs to be minus 0.25 so it shows the full range. 0.25. Because that shows the actual position. It's taking a reading from the actual pivot. Okay, well at least the bow controls work properly now. I'm happy about that. So I guess I need to test my gearing out again. See what the gear ratios are like. What have you been loading fuel back in the tank or something?
Yeah, the fuel tank is full.
Anyway, that thruster seems to work nicely.
I'm assuming Jack is still reeling the hose in.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, so we've still got 6,000 litres on board.
Generator time, correctamundo. So what I want to do is we want to measure battery. What we want to do is we want to say if the battery levels have come to a certain point, kick the generator in. Now how much we kick the generator in, I don't know. It's going to take power from the engine. It's kind of hard to say what the charging is coming out of this. What data points have we got? Maximum data output giving electrical generation of the generator.
I swear that hose isn't moving.
It doesn't tell you anything. Like, gives you the electrical generation of the generator. In what? In what measurement?
You know, I think I know what it is. I think because the battery's so drained on that. That's why it's going so slowly.
Miles, I'll tell you what, mate. I'll change the title just for you. Because obviously it's causing a lot of confusion.
Because the winch is affected by the electricity
Right,
power
let me
as
see.
well.
Today we're trying to go to the Arctic. Today we build stuff. There we go. That covers all my bases now. At 8 RPS engine can generate 4 to 500-ish power if it goes direct into the generator. 4 to 500. So if I've got batteries that can store 8. If I've got batteries that can store 8. I can't set the maximum RPM of this thing, can I? I don't really want to engage that completely, because that's going to throw out insane amounts of power. The data pointing to that is a number between 0 and 1. I guess what you want to do is say, like, depending on how far you are from 0, like, I don't want to explain this. It's like the inverse. You want more generation, the less power, the less battery power you have.
Could you do like an if?
Yeah, you can do an if.
If battery power greater than 3.95, turn off or something.
Let's drop down a microcontroller. It really annoys me. Like, it really bugs me that when you put a microcontroller down, it's massive. Why can't I just say I want it this size when I put it down?
Yeah.
Don't you build it in the editor first before you do that?
Yeah, you can change the size of the microcontroller. You've done it before.
Yeah, you can do it when you're in there, but how do you put it down to edit it?
When
I
you're
thought you
building
built
them.
it before you put it down.
Top right of the blue dots.
Oh, microcontroller editor. Oh, we're going
Yeah.
there first. Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
you build your microcontroller in there, or edit an existing one, and then you place.
Gotcha. Let's see. All right, so we're gonna have generator governor. How you spell governor? You spell governor.
Looks about right.
Yeah, like that.
I'm like, you know, you type a word out and you're like, that doesn't look right.
I'm thinking,
Yeah.
yeah, that is right, isn't it?
Yeah, think government.
Government, governor. Looks okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could just put governor.
Yeah, full generator gov.
Why
Yeah,
gov?
governor. There you go. That's definitely better.
Right, that's as reeled in as it needs to be.
Right, isn't it? Right, we need to do this. As an input, we need to know data-wise how much battery. We need to know a few things, actually. We need to know what is our maximum battery capacity. Then we want a live feed, and then we want to make decisions about when to kick the generator in, I guess. So, battery capacity. Can't type. Battery capacity. Right? Maximum battery capacity. Because that varies from ship to ship, right? That's an input. We need to know that. Next input we need to know is what is current battery level. Actual battery level coming in. We know those two things. Move that over there. So a couple of inputs. And then we're going to have an output. But do we want it to make decisions about what level to kick in? Yeah. I think we'll do that ourselves. That saves an input, doesn't it? Right, output is going to be a number, which is going to be clutch to generator value between 0 and 1 to set clutch. Set clutch governing the generator. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so two values coming in. Total battery where it's actually at, and then we make a decision about what to set the clutch to kick the generator off. It really should be a PID, this. But we can probably just do it with some logic, just like kick the generator off. Symbol is, I don't know, what's a battery symbol look like? Because it's like a plus.
Thin bar, little bar.
And a minus.
Cardboard box.
Like a circuit diagram rather than an actual battery symbol.
Happy anniversary, Natter.
Do it like that.
Paul's just failed his science test.
What do you mean?
Like, if we draw that on a circuit diagram for showing a symbol for a battery, that wouldn't go well, would it? Got to say, your pixel art is improving drastically, Paul.
Gov. There you go.
Gov. All right.
Battery Gov. You don't need the
Nice
input
job,
battery
nice
capacity.
job.
The maximum level is always 1. That's not true. Each battery I have in my... Each battery, I have 4 batteries, so the total capacity is 4. And I have another 4 on the other side. So my total capacity is actually 8. Because each battery can hold 1. But I think... No, that's right. That is right.
Do you want to sleep and get a mission?
A mishmish.
Hmm.
Do you have any research going?
No, because we only have 7 points.
Oh, I thought we started the keypad.
That's been and gone.
Oh, why is it still on my screen? We could do railings. It's only 1 point, and we could do it very quickly.
They're all hooked up to act as one battery.
Do you mean decorations?
Yeah, decorations.
Why not? There you go.
I have on the deck
Yeah.
Now we just need to distract Paul from his microcontroller.
Oh!
a value between 0 and 4, right? Let's see. What are we doing?
Dang.
Sleep, please.
When you connect batteries, they share the load. One is 0.99. The other connected is 0.99. I'm asleep.
Yeah, me too.
Either use charge level or charge
Sleep
capacity,
again,
but
'cause we
stick
want
to
a
the metal.
mission.
Do you want to kick some other research off first?
I don't know if we've got enough points.
Actual railings. There you go.
Go for it. Sleep.
Sleep.
Measuring one battery will save having to add all the batteries together. Fair enough. I'll get rid of my battery adding
Submission
thing then.
logic broke again.
Oh, we're not getting missions.
We don't seem to be.
I reckon it's because we've done or failed all the ones we can do. Again.
Yeah.
And that the only way you can get more missions now is to, like, say you unlock firefighting, you start getting firefighting missions.
Yeah. And discovering places in the Arctic, because there's loads of missions up there. There's also tons of missions on Sawyer Island. We need to start thinking about trying to do a long distance journey.
Well, we can do a long distance journey if I get this engine running and we fill the tank with fuel. We can drive up to the thing, fill the storage with diesel, and we can go lots of places.
Yeah.
We've got Arctic outfits and we've got heaters on board.
Did you still want to build a train first?
Natter.
Well, that depends how much time we've got. Do we need to sleep or what?
If there's not going to be another mission popping up, then there's no point sleeping.
Well, the only way I can get a mission up for you guys is if I edit the XML file again. And remove the missions that we've done so that it starts to produce more. You want me to do that?
Well, it's option A is you reset every mission and we'll just do them again, or we get up to the Arctic, or yeah.
Yeah.
The Arctic's 100 kilometers away. You want a train.
Fighter wants to go north. course, Whiteland wants to go to the Arctic. He's used to it.
Jamer, thank you very much for 5 subs. Thank you for the gift. If you're lucky enough to get a sub, please give Jamer a thank you for dropping 5 subs. Thank you.
You want to experience the snow, do you, Whiteland?
Okay, so if I just call it battery and then go between 0 and 1, then I can...
Although I do feel like if Paul's going to build a train, we'll want something else to do in the meantime.
Yeah,
We want that.
that is true.
And then logic-wise...
So is it, are we taking a boat north or are we taking a train?
If his new one's got the capacity, we could just sail north. As long as it's not too slow.
So we don't need to add this up anymore.
What? I've just found a loot box.
To the nut house.
Really?
Round the back of the containers.
Wow.
Well, they got loot crates in this game.
No, it's one of the one of these.
An exponent
To the nut house.
and 6 research points.
So if that's the
It was
case...
just behind these containers the whole time.
Wow.
How long have
That's
we
the
been
case,
here?
we don't need to have the battery capacity anymore. We can just have battery current level. And then what we're going to say is clutch is going to go
the
out.
only thing we can unlock is functions.
It has grown in size, Rome.
Yeah, we need jet planes.
So if the battery varies between 0 and 1, the generator can vary
Where
between
does
that.
jet
So all
fuel-
we've got to do is inverse this, right? How do we do an inversion in this game? It's just 1 over x. If x is less, if x is greater than 0, that's all it is. If this input is greater than 0, do 1 over x and output it there. And that'll do it. I think we can add a function block, can't we?
Looks like the only way to get jet fuel will be in a plane or a chopper.
I don't have to do this with this diagram thing. I know what I want to do, I just don't know how to do it. See, I want to do this. But here you've got 1 over x. If x is the input. But in the case where that's 0, that'll crash. If you got no battery, that'll just go 1 over 0. You what, mate? So as if that starts at 1, that'll be 1 over 1. That's not going to work, is it? Because that's 1 over 1 is 1. No, it's 1 minus 1 over x, is it? I think. Is it 1 minus 1 over x? So, in the case where x is 1, that becomes 0. As x starts to go down, 1 over x goes up, that becomes negative. That's not right. One minus x. Might be 1 minus x, actually, you're right. Yeah, so when the battery's fully charged, it's 0. As x value drops, the clutch is increased. Yeah, it's 1 minus x. Simplest governor ever. I think. Does that sound right? Am I going mad? Well, x comes in from 0 to 1. The battery level is either 0 or the battery level's 1 or somewhere in between. That just inverts it and says set the clutch to the inversion of that. That's all it's doing. Why can't I update that? Update the selected microcontroller. Battery governor. Done. So we go under here and we put that in. And we take a feed from the battery. Battery charge comes in. And then value goes out to the clutch. Now, it would be nice to know what that clutch is doing, or at least what the generator's doing. I have no idea what this is going to output. It's really annoying. I've got the scuba gear there, so I can't delete that. Does anybody know what the generator is going to output? Generator is going to go from 0 to something. I have no idea what. If the generator is on maximum, what's that value going to be? Maybe I just better displaying it. Generator. Yeah, but I just don't know what it's going to output, so I don't know what to set it to set the maximum to. Right, there's a generator there. Light display generator. Doesn't it say the maximum capability generator info? You'd think, Rome. It just says, hang on, let's have a look on the tooltip for it. A medium generator for converting mechanical energy to electricity. Output number. If we hover over the data point for it. Data output given the electrical generation of the generator. It's not... Yeah, it is what it is. Am I okay to spawn?
Yeah.
The generator generates generation things. Wow, my game just crashed.
Yes.
I clicked spawn and the game went, nope.
Right.
Well, this is a good chance for you to clear the XML.
That's true. Bring up the old notepad here. Let's see, it's closed that.
I'll be right back. I've just got to go and check on dinner.
Why would it act? Why would it, like, generation in volts doesn't make any sense. If anything, it's going to be like amps or something. Mission. Thank you very much, Chris. Right, active missions. Stars equals 0. We'll look for missions where we got 0 stars, which means we basically failed them.
Cup of tea.
Yep.
So I was just reading through the FAQ, and there is no watts, no hertz, no volts or amps. Everything just uses their internal game electricity, which is S watts.
SWAT. SWAT.
Basically. It's 400 swats for a small battery, 3,200 for a medium, and 64,000 for a large.
So I get 3,200 SWATs.
But it doesn't say what the generators actually produce.
Wait, so what was that coming from then?
That's batteries.
Oh.
Just reading it up a bit further to make sure I haven't missed anything.
We're building the Polar Express, Connor. Exactly, my man. Welcome back, sir. Welcome back.
Yeah, no, there's nothing else here about it.
Let's go for a password shiny. Number 21, edited. I don't know what a SWAT is. It's a small watt. Maybe it's a silly watt.
I think it's probably Stormworks watt.
Right, why is OBS not capturing the game?
It certainly won't be a sensible watt.
Well, this is interesting. OBS is refusing to capture the game now.
Lol.
Oh my god. I reckon it's still hooked into like an old process or something. Nice one, OBS. Stormworks.exe. Properties. See if I can convince it. There we go. I've convinced it. Yay. Right. I'm back in. Let's go. Now it should, if we go to sleep, it should generate missions.
Okay, hang on. Just loading.
Jack.
What did I do? Oh, can someone open the lid?
What?
The cargo bay. I'm stuck inside it.
You're in the cargo bay.
Yeah, it spawned me in the cargo bay.
Oh my god. One second. Just activating power.
Okay.
Hey.
No, that's not the right one.
What do you mean it's not the right one? You're in the cargo bay of the other ship.
How far back did you go?
Spawn back.
Why is there a cargo ship still at the refinery?
I've no idea.
There shouldn't be.
Oh, this is not the right save.
It's not the right save.
This tank is reading 7,000 liters.
Oh no, 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 no. It is the right save, but you know what's happened?
What?
Hang on.
If you quit now quickly, then you might be able to get the autosave.
No, the autosave's 1824.
Oh.
The game's crashed out, so... Oh, rip.
Well, everything you save vehicle-wise saves separate of the game time.
And the autosave's probably not the edited version, so yeah. We probably don't have stuff unlocked that we've actually unlocked.
We're back to when we were having that trouble up with our boat and we had to go and respawn my banana boat to head back up. That's where we are.
So about an hour and a half, 2.5 hours ago.
Yeah. Something like that.
Oh my god. Because the game crashed and I didn't load the autosave, and it's obliterated the autosave, I think. Does it keep more than one autosave?
There might be a list of autosaves. I'm not sure how
No,
many
it doesn't.
keeps.
And how often does it autosave?
I'm not sure. It depends on the setting, I think. I think there's a setting for it.
That's actually annoying.
Yeah. Because there's like 2 or 3 researchers now reversed, plus all that fuel we brought back and pumped back into the fuel tanks.
Just like literally no settings for autosave.
Right.
There's nothing. There's no frequency. There's no number. There's just nothing. It's like, this is what you're going to get. Well, rip.
Yeah.
Not too much progress. Yeah, just a couple of hours. All because my game decided to crash.
I mean, all your work on the boat will still be saved because that's saved separately.
Yeah, but we've got research that we've done.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to quickly pop back out of the game, go to the XML and just give us a bunch of research points so we can just spam through those research.
It's probably the easiest thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know how many we spent, maybe 40. I know we did radio stuff. The last thing we did was railings. And we did keypads.
You can suggest a feature on the right. I would like to suggest autosave control. Like, the whole point of an autosave is to save you from that. What just happened. Right, if you spawn in, we've got 79 research points. Do you think that's enough to unlock stuff we had?
Probably, yeah.
And we have 7,000 litres. Hang on, 7168. Let me just see if I can find that.
But your game's not showing up again, so I'm going to have to restart Steam again.
That's fine, I've just remembered it doesn't start you in multiplayer. When you load from the main menu, it doesn't start in multiplayer.
No.
I'm just seeing if I can find that actual object in the game. More fuel in it. It's got to be that one. I'm hacking. I think I've got a right to hack right now. Andy, thank you for the bits. The game's just kicked us between the legs. I think I've got a right to hack. Okay. Come back in.
Yep, connecting.
That didn't work. Wasn't that one. I was hoping I could edit the value in that thing. 7168.55. 7168.55. But I can't find it in the save file. So I don't know where that's stored.
Right, I'm back here. So do we want to get some research started?
Yeah, if you kick off, let's just blast the research that we already had before it crashed. So then the only thing we're actually missing is whatever money difference and the fuel in this thing.
But actually, radio is currently underway anyway. So let's sleep that one out.
Okay.
Be alright.
Gonna miss a whole bunch of missions while we go through this as well.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I can always re-edit that if you want.
Oh, I forgot to sleep again.
What about the ship? No, the ship is fine. Like, the vehicles are fine. It's whatever you've spawned in the world we've lost. So we had another ship in the world, and that's gone. But you can
This thing
offset
is so
that
much
by
more
giving
stable in
yourself
the water
30
now.
grand.
Right,
Right,
that's
radio research done.
Kick off the next one, which was... I know we had keypads. Let's quickly do that. Okay, and then it was...
What else do you get?
I can't remember what else we did.
Was it firefights? Oh, that was radio. Decorations as well?
Well, we did decorations as well. Might as well just do it quickly. And then I think that might be us caught up.
Then
Oh,
fence, he says.
Right, okay. Yeah, railings. Okay. Sleeping.
Welcome back.
Needs to sleep.
Yeah, that's the wrong button. Right, that's railings done.
Was there anything else?
There was nothing else that we had, I don't think. Did you have the function blocks?
I don't know.
Right, okay. Also, that water jet stuff you wanted is 20 points.
I don't need it now.
Okay. Okay, I think that's everything then.
Right, if you want, I can reset the missions we just trashed.
Yeah.
Well, it'll have to come out a game again.
Yep, I'm exiting now. Maybe reset the XP back to, I don't know, 4 or something. I think it was on 4.
What, the research points?
Yeah. If we want to keep that legit. Otherwise, we can keep the 70. I'm fine with that.